Welcome to another episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. It's your favorite baby daddy, AJ. And today we have a special guest. And I say a special guest because I feel like I'm a strong individual, right? But I understand me having 3 kids wears me out, like completely wears me out. And today we have an individual who I say is twice as strong as me because he has 6. Like, I can't I can't imagine 2 or like just double what I have right now. I would absolutely lose my mind. And so today we have our special guest, Mr. Julien Marion. Thank you for being on the show.
And you're right. I tell people all the time, like, what is it like, man? I'm like, same as you, just multiply it. It's like there's 2 or 3 families living here, right? It's like a family of 8 if you have one
Oh
kid.
my God.
Right. It's like the food goes faster. There's more things you have to be a judge and jury and sometimes executioner. You know what I mean? Like there's more of it. So it's the endurance and the capacity to be able to hold,
Yeah.
space without just going insane and just be like, nobody talks to me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
So apparently fatherhood must be important. It has to be important to you because if it didn't, you would have stopped a long time ago. But so I'll start you off with the first question I start everybody off with. What does it mean to you to be a father?
It means a lot, man. I think once you become a father, I'm a faith-led individual. And when I became a father, the living word made so much sense, right? Like the Bible made so much sense. Before I was like, yeah, I get it. And then I became a father and it was just like, oh my God. Wow. Oh wow. And so for me, it feels like it's an amazing honor to be a steward of that many individuals, lives, souls. You know what I mean? Because some people are trying to have kids and can't have kids. Like that's the
Yeah.
reality of it. And then you have others, it's like they're naturally just like are lively. Do you know what I mean? Like me and my wife together, we create life. We create many life. We do business together. We have a brick and mortar business as well. We do, dance studio, many girls, many moms. That's also life, and it says like, by their fruits, you will know them. And so for me, it's a great honor to be able to be a model for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So did you always grow up faith based?
Yes, but it became, you know, I grew up Catholic, and then I was just like, this does not make sense to me. I was just like, this it makes no sense. So when I got older, I was just like, okay, then none of that stuff makes sense. And then at some point, it's just like, I think I remember the moment. I played basketball my whole life. So I played basketball when and for the Belgium national team, youth national team. And then I went to the US and then I played in college. And I remember in college, it was just like, being a shooter, just like, you put the time in, right? Like before practice, then you have practice, and after practice, that's like, it's all about just like volume that you're putting in as a shooter. And I was just like, it was like diminishing returns. I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong, man? I'm like, I'm putting all this time and then it's just not coming in, you know? And that was pre analytics of threes and be okay. It's okay to shoot,
Yeah.
like 3 feet behind. It was a time where it's like your coach wants you like the line is here, I need you like here. Like your toes better touch that line. And
You better
so
not miss.
you
Because
better not miss.
you only get about 3 or 4 of those a game.
So I would be like a sniper. Like you would put me in, and it would be just like instant point. And so I remember a time when things started going down. I was just like, I got down on my knees. I was like, okay, God, I give up. Like this is it. Like, just hey, I'm done. Like I'm trying, it's not working. I'm done. I'm done. Just focusing on you know whatever you want. And that one game I made 7 for 7 threes, and the 7th 3 was like the one to win it. And then I didn't see it, for me to make it, I was just like, "Yay, great." And then somebody came to me, he's like, "You know what it means, 7? You know what 7 means?" I'm like, "No, what it means?" Like, "It's completion. It's completion." I was like, I still like didn't get it what he was saying. It's just like later, I was just like, "Oh man, yeah, you know what I mean?" And then from that point on, it's been like time and time and time and time and time. Like I've got stacks and stacks of evidence, you know? And so that's why for me at that moment, I realized, okay, so my job here on earth is to be his hands and feet. And I do that by serving versions of me, which is married entrepreneur dads. Like that's who I'm serving because I know like how it feels to be there and be a dad, but also an entrepreneur. And then you're trying to navigate all of that, and you then people don't fully understand what it means. And having kind of God as like that pillar, because sometimes that's the thing, right? It's just like you go to the darkness and you feel like, man, it's just I have nothing. But if you can be bridged back, then it's so much easier. And they said if the dad is connected to God or is a spiritual leader in his family, there's 80%, I think it's something like 80 to 75% chances that the kids will also go in that direction. Not the mom, the dad. Like he is that difference, you know. So
So, who do you think you get your dad leadership from? Like, who taught you how to be a dad?
definitely
Or do
my
you
dad.
think your or it came from just the word? You said your dad.
Yeah, my dad through example,
Okay.
right? Just modeling. And that's why for me, it's like that's what I'm not big on like, I'm gonna give you the lecture. Let me give you the lecture. Like not it. Not it at all. Right. My intuition has always been through example. So you're going to see me. The first thing I'm gonna do in the morning, you're gonna see me. I'm gonna go in and pray and meditate. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna go and pray and meditate. So the door's gonna be closed. Like I'm gonna tell you that. And you're gonna see every day. I'm also gonna go and work out. And you're gonna see me. I'm going to go and I'm going. I do Muay Thai. I'm gonna go and train. You're gonna see me. Then you're also gonna see that I'm working. You're gonna see me here. You're gonna see me do this. I have 3 books. You're gonna see me with the books. You're gonna like I'm modeling all this. You're gonna see the way I make your mommy coffee in the morning. Bring it to her. You're gonna see me how I talk to my own mom every day. Like I'm modeling all those qualities because when I'm no longer there, you will do that.
Are
Even
those
some
the things you saw though? Are
yes,
those things those are examples you saw?
I saw my dad always take care of his mom. Always call his mom. When he came back, he would invite his mom home. When he go to vacation, he would invite his mom to come vacation with us. He would just like presence, right? So I love to compare it to a mountain, right? Like the mountain doesn't have to say I'm a mountain. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just is. Like it just is, right? And it takes space. Because sometimes like you think it like, oh, I have to perform. And my dad never thought about performance. He never thought about performance. Right. I never saw him was like, oh, my dad he provided all this stuff. Like never. But I just thought he was present, you know, like present. And so I saw that he was always ready, always clean, always taking care of his mom, always take care of my mom, always be there for the big events for us, but never will come in and give us lecture. He always like, hey, if you want to ask me something, come and ask me.
Now, you have 6 children. What was it like when you first started? What was it like when you first found out that I have a baby on the way, as opposed to the last child? What was the biggest difference?
Yeah, I think my brother said it best when I lost my dad December 24th, 2021, right? And yes, thank you. And my brother had said that we have the same dad, but we had a different dad because a different moment. I'm sure you can relate to that. With three, is just like number one, number two, number three had a different agent.
Completely.
Although some of you guys like you had a smaller gap in between some of the kids, but you are a different individual. Like you evolved differently. You had to work through some trauma differently. And so the first one, I was still young. Like I got my first kid, I was 24, right? Like super young. When you think of that, like super, super young. We hadn't been married like 1 year, and then boom, like 2009 got married, 2010 first kid in August. Like that's how fast it was. And so there was so much that I had to work. But I remember just being like, that's my dude. Like I would go everywhere and anywhere. Like we're going to the store. I got him. Like we're going to the store,
Yeah.
put him here, carrying him. Like we are going everywhere, and never going like, okay, you take him. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh no. If I'm there and I'm playing Call of Duty, because I was just playing a lot of like games, especially in the beginning, oh, he'll be there. He'll be like next to me. I will hold him here, like everywhere and anywhere I went. Kept the last one. I had grown so much from 24 to how was that when I got the last one? I think I was 38, 38 or 37, something like that. And I had gone through so much pain, so much healing, so much adversity that when I got her, because listen to this. So I lost my dad 2001 plane crash. The next year,
21.
2000
2000. Oh, okay.
plane crash. Literally, exactly a year is when I got my daughter. So she was technically supposed, like the due date, my wife was telling me, was supposed to be December 23rd, 2002. almost the exact date that we lost him.
2002?
Yep. So the next year.
How old are your children?
She's about to be 3 this year.
2022.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm old. When you say 2002, I'm still thinking about
22.
20. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Yeah. But if you're old, if your sixth one is 2002, then what's going on here? Okay, got you. 20.
yeah. And so when I got her, like I was such a different individual that it was just a different experience, very different experience into like how I see her, how I'm talking to her. I've always prayed for like independent, self-reliant kids, and that's who I want to raise. I don't want to raise kids that are so dependent on us for everything, for food, for like no. I wanted like, hey, you know how to make breakfast? This is your options. You know how to do lunch? This is your options. Dinner? We got it. But if we're not there, those are your options. And so her, my 2-year-old, very independent. Knows exactly what she wants. Like, and you see that, and so this last one has been such an experience of just enjoying it even more. Although adversity is still there, the craziness is still there, but just enjoying that moment versus next one, because they're all about 2 years apart. It's like next one, next one, next one, next one, next one. Here, there was like one is 4 years old, and then you get a baby. So you can really, it's almost an experience of the number one again because
So,
all those are independent.
going back to number one, how does number one, and I start there because if it's 2 years, they got just that little bit of time of being an only child, but then they always now have to share their parents and just constantly. And I'm pretty sure as the oldest, you're gonna have some of the responsibility because you're the oldest, you're expected more. You've been, you're gonna have to look out for those that come after you. How did they feel about when you said we got a baby on the way? And then you said we got a baby on the way. And then you said we got a baby on the way. So how are they done?
My firstborn was a boy, right? And he's a Leo, so he has all the Leo traits, right? Which is like he's literally my second in command. Love to be able to lead, and so that makes it super easy because if you have somebody that wants to lead, likes to lead, that wants to be given opportunities to lead, and you give him the opportunity to lead, right? And you also show the respect, right? Of just like, yo, I trust you. Like, hey, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Right? Like he's about to turn 15 in August, August 4th, and he's probably one of the most independent 15-year-old you ever meet. He knows how to really cook. He knows like how to really like look at and make money, like just socially responsible, but also good at just understanding like the dynamics of like friendship and people and EQ. And that's it's and to me it's just like it's again modeling, giving him the respect, and the trust, but also firm love. Like I'll give firm love to my boys, and to my daughters, but my boys like a lot more. And for him, one thing that I always told him was just like you are the example to your younger brothers. If the door is a door is open with you, it's open to them. You can't hide it. It doesn't happen like this. So if there's some stuff slide with you, it literally goes like this to the last one. And so for you, I have to hold that strong line, and then you have to understand that you're a leader in this family. Sometimes I have to tell me like, okay, relax. I know you're second in command, but like, okay, calm down. Just, you know what I mean? Otherwise, he's like holds the law, like, dad say this, and he was just really be like strict. But yes,
You know what's crazy? I didn't even realize August 4th was a Leo and a strong personality. That's what my last one. That's her exact birthday. But yeah, she's not leading anything right now. I got to still lead her to the potty. Like this is I'm too old to be doing this. I am too old to keep doing this. So
when you
that's
get to,
interesting.
I always say like I'll try to change always the language of like we get to do it,
Yeah.
and you only literally if you look at somebody's life, right? Like our kids, you really have them in your life for the shortest amount of time that they're going to be on earth. Hopefully, like that's it. Like you have this window, whether it's like 18 years or 20, let's say they live to 60 or 70, you only have them for this. And so this is a constant reminder. I have this big why now that came in, which is I wanna be old with my kids. Like, I wanna be, like, 106 and have him being, like, in his 80s and the other one being in his 70s. I'm like, "Yo, we're all gonna be old, and you wanna see a difference with me
Yeah,
being
I don't wanna be one of those
6,
6
you're
now.
gonna be 80, you're gonna be 70, you'll be 6." And that to me, that excites me more than, like, I can anchor myself literally in that moment, right? Of like, "Wow, that would be so cool," and I can project and I can anchor myself there, be like, "How cool would it be to be an old man and have all my kids being old men and old women?" I'm like, "That would be just so amazing." That would be the imagine of us, 8 of us old taking that picture.
If it's 8 of you, no, it ain't gonna be just y'all. It's gonna be about 80
Of
of
course,
y'all by that time.
like, we're the
Yeah.
core, right?
Yeah,
We're
I'm
the
saying if you get to 106, you might have 106 people in your picture by then. By the time you multiply, yeah. So you talk about leadership as well, and your oldest son, he takes on a leadership role, but you had to become a leader as well because you have all these people looking at you. You are the head of the household. So what is something that your children have taught you about leadership that you just can't get out of a book somewhere?
yeah, no, it's been I wanna say that God speaks to me through my kids or teaches me through my kids, right? You would say something, it will almost be such a fast mirror back in your face, of like what you're saying, you know? It'd be like, be patient. And then it would slap me back in my face. I'm like, Julian, you patient? But it'll be so fast that I'm just like, I get hit by him, like, what? What? Like, hold on. Like you never like that. And I'm like, and it hits me back like so fast. I'm like, hold on. you know? And so for me, the biggest thing that I've learned inside of leadership is literally do what you say you're going to do. And that's consistency. Like if I told you this is what's going to happen, I'm going to hold the line to this. And that's why I call it like firm love. Like I'm going to hold the line to that, right? And I'm never going to let you disrespect your mom. Period. The end. If you want to do something that is going to make me angry very fast, it's going to be you talking to your mom like in any type of way. Because again, remember, like I want to model and I want them to understand, like, oh, he's mommy's biggest protector. And then
Yeah, yeah. Totally, yeah. It's like a thing that just flipped that time. Yeah, I totally get and understand what you're talking
and
about.
force, yes, speed and force, just for you to remember, like never ever in your life would this line be crossed. And I share this story with like everybody all the time. Like one time I did this to my mom. The time where I was just like, I finally got 6'2", and I'm here at 6'2". My mom is 5'4", and my mom used to do at some point like she would grab us, she would shake us. She would grab me, she would shake you and stuff. And I guess mom she's shaking me, and I just got this moment of like a realization, like I am taller and stronger than her. Right? And so I grab her and I
Oh
put again, yeah. So she's grabbing me, taking me, and I'm
my God.
putting her against the wall. And my mom just stops. She looks at me in my eyes and goes, she bites me and she goes, boom. And she punches me. And I'm just there. I'm like, you bit me and you punched me. She's like, yeah. And that was it. I never ever have I ever put like gonna move my mom or disrespect my ever. Because there's a moment that happens with your kids, whether you're a mom, you're a dad, where you have to go to that level of crazy.
Yeah.
Them to be like, oh wow, he's my dad or she's my mom, but I don't know them like that. Like there's you know what I mean? Like there's something about them. I wouldn't, I respect them, and I was just and there's this level of like, oh, I never crossing this line. And it's
It's
every parent you ask them, they have that story.
yeah. Every parent is challenged by a child in some way, somehow. It might not always be in the physical. It's always something. They're going to try you. They will always try you.
They would try. Yes, they would see how far can it push with different people. And at some
And
point, you gotta put that line of like, listen, this is a line that you are never going to cross. Are we okay? Do you get what I'm saying?
mhm.
If you're not willing to put that line, they're gonna keep on just like pushing the boundary and pushing the boundary and pushing the boundary and pushing the boundary, and eventually you're gonna be the one like, I don't know what to do. They don't respect me, and it's like, nope.
Another line kids try to do is they try to draw a line between the parents.
Hmm.
And I can hear about how you make sure that you respect your mother. So speak on how important it is that your partner is in line with you when it comes to raising and rearing these children, because you have six of them. So you can't just be like, well, I'm gonna take these three, you take these three, but we got to be on line for everybody. How do you do that? How do you balance that?
Yeah, that's definitely something. Again, remember like the Julian with one kid versus Julian with six kids. There's such a
Difference. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like this huge gap that you go through to come back on this other side, being more. I don't like to use the word vulnerable. I like to use the word emotionally open. I'm a lot more emotionally open, like here, right? With my wife was has always been great at understanding this piece of empathy, of emotions, and everything. And for me, it's just like I shut down emotion, like my capacity to feel, like really early in my life. And only after like when my dad died, literally that moment is when I remember feeling it. It's just like something in me broke and opened. Like that is the best way I can explain. It broke and it opened, and I had to do so much work from that moment. But it was an acceleration, like such an acceleration that my body was just not even like I used to not cry and it's suddenly like I'm having tears over music, over movies. I'm like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? For somebody that doesn't cry, so suddenly you watch a movie and you can feel tears coming. Like, what? So like, you know what I mean? Just all of this. And so there was towards like, number six is understanding this piece of, okay, there is such thing, emotional processing and yes, firm love, but also understanding their mental health, you know? Because yes, although we got raised maybe with tough love, we have trauma that we're working through now
Yeah.
because of some of the stuff that happened then that they got from that they got from that they got from. And so we get a chance to now decide, okay, did we like it? How do we want you know, to raise our kids? And it has to work both ways, where she now like at a place where she will understand, like, hey, at some point I'm dad. That means my voice is not gonna be your voice. We're gonna be clear on like how we do it. My voice, not gonna be it. My voice is going to be firm love,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And your voice is going to be like you're gonna be the person they're gonna go to
Nurture. Yeah.
nurture and do all this. For some of my boys, or one of them, it's just like they need that, and then they need them to go to mommy. So they need both the masculine and the feminine, both inside of like a healthy feminine and a healthy masculine. Not the masculine is just like the competition, competition. I'm better than you. I'm your dad. I'm stronger. Therefore, you gotta respect me because I'm the authority. Because that used to be me. Until I just was like, I don't. I'm just the mountain. Like I don't have to prove you anything. I don't have to compete against anybody. I just provide this grounding for everybody around me to feel safe, to come and hide if they need to come and hide, to I can hold a space for them. Like I'm just the mountain. Like I don't have to perform. I just have to eat. I don't have to entertain. That means I'm there. I don't have to play a game with you and to be like, yeah, no, I just have to be there. And there's the age of the crazy thing is like if I'm there, sometimes my boys will just come in and just want to give me a hug and a kiss. That's it. Like and it'd be like three or four of them. Hey, I just want to kiss you. Hey, can I hug you? That's it.
Your presence is so important.
But it's hard in
Presence
your
is everything.
but it's hard in your brain because we were never trained to know there's like presence matter more than performance. It's like, what you mean? Like no, man. Like, if I can't do all this, like I'm nothing.
And so how do you maintain that presence? Because you said you speak to entrepreneurial dads, married dads, right? And I'm an entrepreneur. Now I'm not anymore. I would gladly take a check from somebody at this point. Like I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time, but I still am now, right? But how do you maintain that balance? Is that something that you've always been? Have you been an entrepreneur from the entire time? Because that could be very scary when you don't know when your check coming, but you know the diapers are due.
Oh yeah, but again, like you have to think of I'm gonna tell you this quick story. So we started our business 2013. Yes, 2013. 2015, I feel the call to just leave corporate, right? And I'm like, and I was like, I was one of the youngest professor, higher education, assistant director of admission. Like I'm having this trajectory that is like, this is higher education, university. Like this is when you can be there for the rest of your life.
Tenure and all. Yeah,
Yeah, it is set money. Do you know what I mean? It's set money. And I was already like, I had written my first book, and I'm like, I'm speaking to, I'm teaching, like I'm just set on this good
set the
trajectory. And then I get this call, and I was like, this pulling set. I'm like, hold on, God, I'm like, I have 3 kids at that time, and I'm like, I need to know that this is really what you want me to do, and I need it black and white because this makes no sense that I'm gonna go full time there, And then this verse came out, and it was, and I remember I said, I was like, hey, I'm giving 6 months, I'm gonna be open to everything. And then this verse came out, and it was entrepreneurship is, and it was go out, launch into the deep, cast down your nets, and they will be full. And it gets explained. It's just like you go and you launch. That means you go with force. You don't stop. You don't halfway go in. You go, and then you go into the deep. The deep is, if you've ever been on a boat, the further you go from shore, the quieter it gets, the colder it gets. You start to look around. It's like I don't see a lot of people. If I drown or if there's a hole in this boat, I don't think people can save me. Right. And it's the deep. The deep is just like you're looking around and you're like, I don't know what's down there. I can't see anything. It feels like the bottomless pit. There might be some monsters and somebody's gonna grab me. And then you do the work. And you don't know if it's left, if it's right, if it's front, if it's back, but then there's a promise. They will be full. So I end up leaving. Then I start my podcast. Started my podcast in 2015. It gets ranked on iTunes. I'm getting all this PR people that want to come in, big executive and stuff. And I don't think about replacing my money, right? Because I'm like, oh my God, like people are coming in. I'm getting people on the podcast. Excited. And my wife is trying to get me to like, hey, what we're doing. But my ego is so high that I'm like, you don't know anything about online. I don't know anything about online either. But you don't know anything about online because my ego is like here, and I didn't want to admit I just didn't know. And I remember that moment where she comes to me and she's like, hey, did you pay the water bill? I'm like, of course. I'm not even turning around to look at her. Of course I paid the water bill. And she's like, okay, well, the water is turned off. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't go, like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, the water is turned off. I'm like, let me check. And I go and I check it. I'm like, yeah, why is it not being paid? I'm like, it's not auto pay. And I go and I check, and I'm like, I check the business account. It was like negative 400. And I go and check the personal account. It's like negative 100. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, how do we get there? Right?
Mhm.
Long story short, we ended up having to sell the house. Right? Because it's like we had equity there. Just we had to sell the house, and so we only had about $41,000. And being an entrepreneur, you already know you take a draw most of the time. Until like now you W-2, but we just take draw. So like now trying to find a place without a pay stub, like that's hard. Tell somebody, hey, so
Extremely hard.
I'd be like, well, see, I'm an entrepreneur, and so everybody was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I never thought of it, but it's actually very hard to do that. It was easier when I had this job at the university.
Mhm.
And so I find this guy. I'm like, listen, how about if I pay for the year up front? I'm like, we're gonna put this check. And it was like 21,100, like biggest check I've ever written. And I'm like, oh my god, like I am writing this big check. He's like, okay. So I do the check, and I'm like, now we only have something like it was like 18,000 left. I'm like, we got 18,000 with three kids, and this is like set money. And so I had to put the podcast down, I had to put the speaking down, I had to focus on the brick and mortar. And that's the year that we went from, I think it was like 125 students to 250, so double. And then after that, 250 to 3 to 350, 450, and then like 5. But yes, it's always been that moment of just, I I don't know. But it has always worked out, and God has always provided. So, it makes it easier.
So what was it that you think got you over that fear? Like,
The
cause
fear of what?
it's just that,
Of losing things?
yeah, like because for me, for example, right? I mean, even though I still do entrepreneurial things now, I always used to do it because I felt like, hey, if I fail, I used to live at one point I lived in my car, right? I can get back on my feet. I know I can. I always can. I can. But I can't just feel that way when I know I got other people depending on me. right? I can't fail. I could fail if I'm on my own. I can fail and I can build myself back up. But how do you feel like, okay, I'm gonna take this plunge knowing that I really can't fail because these people are dependent on me? What is it that fuels that?
I think it's I think it's the same thing as like people thinking that they can protect their kids. There's some of those, right? They feel like it's my job. I gotta protect my family. I gotta protect the kids. And I was like, because you only have two. I got six. There is no way that I can physically protect everybody. There's just no way. There's not. There's just no way, right? There's just no way. I cannot physically protect all my kids at the same time. This does not happen. And so for me, understanding that and also understanding that it is also not common to have that many kids. It is also not common to have a business that is about stewarding so many kids, right? And for me, also, what the word of God told me about, I would never let the righteous go down, right? He was always going to be taken care of. If I take care of all the things over here, why would I not take care of you, right? And then the promise, right? Every time there's something that is hard that I have to do, I don't even think about it. It just comes up. And I always, and I'm like, that's what I'm like, I know this is the right direction, which is, why are you so afraid? Do you have no faith? Why are you still so afraid? Do you have no faith? And it comes up, right? And I'm like, and then I move. So for me, it is literally like my faith, it is that foundation that allows me to continue to move as a leader with six kids, as a leader with, like 400 and some students, with a staff of women, where I am the masculine energy instead of all that stuff, where I have to be the safe space for them. I have to be a safe space for those moms. I have to be a safe space for those daughters. Knowing that I'm like, that's what I have this tattooed right here, right? It said one of the ones, which is God's hands and feet. Like I am hands and feet. I don't think that where I am and what I'm doing is normal or natural, right? Like, because I could have never scripted that it would have been like this.
Right.
Ever. Ever and ever, ever. If I didn't look at it, I'd be like, why did I not go to like being a soldier? Like I have more of that DNA of just like, just give me something. Like I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna do this. Like then what to do? Like I'm gonna like like just like just and I'm like, and I didn't go that route. Instead, I'm on a route of you know
Dance
uh,
studio.
moms
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then I get to now just be there and support dads that, now have been pushed to a place where they feel like they're alone. They feel they're alone because they got deconditioned to be in tribes, right? It's like, no, everybody's my competition. You my competition, AJ, because maybe there's a job I'm trying to get this and it's you or me, you know? And so they just feel alone and they can't talk to their wife because then she's gonna be like, oh my god, AJ is not is he's like he's going somewhere. Like I gotta protect my kids because AJ cannot do it. Like he's I don't know what he's doing. So I have to be the one now. So her masculine goes up now and she's competing against you. And you're like, I don't need to compete. I don't want to compete. You know what I mean? And then it splits.
So we spent a lot, and compete is a good word because I want to twist off a little bit because we spent a lot of time. We talked about your oldest, we talked about your youngest, and then there's a lot in between, right? And but like you said, you're only one person. How are you able to give individual time or to each individual child? And how do they ever feel like they have to compete for your time?
Question. I'm intentional about talking to each one of them, like to be able to have pockets of time. But then they also don't need that much time. They really don't. I think is the thought process that you have to give so much to everyone, I don't think is accurate. I'm gonna tell you this, okay? So my assumption, which got proven to be true, was this. My job, my number one job is me. I have to be able to heal all the trauma that I have, either that they have received from growing up, there may be the stuff down the line that was never truly healed, that I still carry. Like, I have to heal that. Then I have to be whole. Once I'm whole, then me and my wife, she also has to do her work. Then we come together and we make that strong. Once this is done, our kids are free. And when they're free, they just want to be reconnected. And so we both had to do that work. And it took many years and many hard moments and having to learn how to communicate and, and all that. My wife is the opposite of me or the complement side of me in terms of energy. As much as I'm fiery, she is reserved. As much as I'm like fast wit, she's slower. She's an empath. I'm not. And so having to learn to communicate with each other without triggering each other or disrespecting each other, right? And not being just roommates, but actually being a unit.
Yeah.
Once that happened, guess what happened? My first one decided, hey, I want to get baptized. Then after that, my second one asked, I want to get baptized. And we don't go to church every Sunday. We don't say, hey, you got to be baptized. How do I? We're trying to persuade you, trying to persuade you or influence you or any of that stuff. None of us. And my third one last year said, I want to be baptized. Every time I ask them, they don't have a reason. They're like, I don't know. I just feel like that's what I need to do. And so, like, and every time I'm trying to find somebody to do it, I'm like, okay, and I can't find somebody, and I can't find somebody, and it doesn't work. I'm like, man, I'm shying away almost from it until like I was like, okay, God, could I do it? Because I didn't know that I felt qualified that to do it. I'm like, can I do it? And the whole conversation was like, you're their dad, you're their dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I told my wife, I'm like, hey, would that be crazy? Like, I'm going to baptize 3 of them. And so we got in the little, the little hot tub. Everybody was in there, all 8 of us. And I baptized 1, 2, and 3. And it was crazy to me because literally when we did our work, it's just like they felt light and they wanted to be reconnected. And yeah, I'm not like Monday is you, Tuesday you, Wednesday is you, Friday is you. Like not none of that. But I will hug long, I will kiss on the cheek, and I'll be firm love.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not going to hold you up, but there are two questions I definitely want to ask you before getting out of here. And the first one is, especially with the entrepreneurial thing, what advice would you give to a dad that is in a role that is making them significant? And this is not me. So in case anybody from my job might be listening to something, I'm not going, I like a check. I'm not going, I've done the entrepreneurial life and I'm not about to have mine, I want my paycheck. So it's not me. But if there was a dad that, let's say they are in a position where they're not necessarily happy with their job, but they're making good money. But they feel as though, I have these bills, I have this responsibility, but I really got a itch to really try something different. What advice would you give that dad?
So I call that the golden handcuff, right? The golden handcuff is pretty much just like you're still handcuffed, right? There's a difference between knowing and thinking. If you know here that entrepreneurship was the route, is the route, but you're thinking through, man, I've done it before, it didn't work. I don't know that I can actually do it. I have responsibilities. Like you're finding all the justification why not to actually go in this direction. Because maybe you failed before or it didn't serve you before, which is again, right? Like that moment, this version of you there that can do it long enough to actually cross the bridge is not you today. Like you had to go here to retool, to get stuff, to restabilize, to go back into just like what you're called to do. To me, the number one thing I'll do, because that's what I did, like literally from the beginning, because that was always who I was as an athlete, was I got a coach. Like right away. 2013, got a coach. 2015, got a coach. From 2015 even till now, like I still have a coach. That's like almost 10 years. And I've had more than one coach. I've had like different type of coach. I've had a marriage coach, I've had business coach, I had a spiritual coach, just because I understand that I want compression of time, and two, I understand that the path of entrepreneurship is like something like this. Is like it's super thin. Like you can make a false step. But the cool thing too is that other people have gone through it. Like there's nothing new.
This is
The
true.
mistake that you know that, like you had it, somebody's about to be a dad, you can help them. You can be like, listen, let me tell you about this. Like, you're gonna experience this. Your wife is gonna go through this postpartum stuff. Yep, you ain't gonna get nothing. You're not gonna get maybe any. And then you're gonna think that you're crazy, that it's your fault. But she's going through her hormones. She doesn't even notice she's going through her hormone.
Mm,
And then you are not gonna want to share with anybody because you feel nobody knows, nobody understands. Where the reality is, we all understand because we all been there. But because you don't open your mouth to share or ask for support, you stay in the same place of, man, I'm just this is messed up, man. Nobody knows, nobody can help me. Nobody. And so for me, once I understood that, I realized that you held the people on your right, and then you get support from the people on your left that have been through what you've been through.
yeah.
And that's how things work. You keep on doing this, and we keep on moving. And so you don't have to go through the pain, you don't have to get to the pits, all that is smaller because somebody else has been there, right? If I want to know how to, like I see the flag behind. Is it yours, right?
No,
No.
that's my grandfather. About to
Okay.
say, nah, don't ask me nothing about no military because we gonna be fucked up.
Okay. Do you know how to use a gun? Do you know how to use a gun?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
So if I'm there and I'm like, okay, AJ knows how to use a gun, I'm like, I want to know how to shoot. I can even try to shoot by myself. Be like, I'm going to learn how to shoot. I could be, hey AJ, can you teach me? Like, which one is going to give me the best result faster?
Yeah.
You're going to give me, but I could learn. Be like, I'm watching some YouTube. And I'm gonna get a Chat GPT to give me a schedule to learn how to. But if I get
Real
to
life
AJ,
person. Yeah.
I'm actually going to maybe hurt less people, and I'm actually going to get there, and it's going to be enjoyable versus the entrepreneurship is not enjoyable for some because they are doing it by themselves, thinking that I just want freedom and I don't want nobody tell me what to do, and then like the ego. Once you leave all that stuff out, you're like, oh my gosh, yes, it's like cheat code. Like I can make money, more money than I make if I work a W-2, and I can have freedom and people actually can work and I can help them and we can decide how we want to do business with who, when, how. Like you're like, oh my gosh, why is not everybody doing it?
Yeah.
So
Well,
get a that's my advice. Get a coach as soon as you can because the reality is the only reason you're afraid of doing it is because you don't have the right support. That's it. Once you have the right support, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I should have got. I just go to AJ. Be like, okay, AJ. So what gun? What gun do you think I should start with? How do you think I should? You're gonna be like, oh, Julian. Oh, you have kids too. Make sure this happened because let me tell you about this story. And I'm like, I feel good. I feel equipped. I'm not afraid. And then I can always reach out. Okay, AJ, hey, I have this issue right here, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I got that before. This is what you do.
and one more thing. What would you want your legacy to be as a father?
Good one. For me, I want my kids to be able to literally have my legacy be documented. I write books not just to support the guys, but I don't want any confusion. Like literally, all the book that I have is just like chapters of my life, right? Like this very first book I wrote, that was whenever I was trying to make it as an entrepreneur, and I was like, this everything is possible. Right, with this book right here, right? This one was like when I didn't have the beard then. It was literally what I had to get it out, like just get this thing that was in me that I had put down whenever remember like when I sold the house and everything else. And then the last one was about like the transformation happens in the decision. Because when things become hard, the decision to keep going or to quit, the decision to apologize because of resentment or to not, all that creates a transformation in you to go to that next step. And so for me, I want my legacy to be literally something that they can grab, they can read, they can research. It is widely available. I am not hidden.
Yeah. No, that's good. So your legacy is documented.
Documented.
That's
Like
great.
it's there, you can see it. There's that, podcast episode, you can hear it. And it can be for you, it can be for the grandkids. Like, it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, yes, we come from him. A piece of him is in us.
That's fine.
So if
That's
he
dope.
did it, I can do it. And that's why this whole thing, right? The dad, the myth, the legend. Like, how do you become a legend in your family tree? Well, you got to document some stuff. You got to speak. Like God gave
Yeah.
you those abilities. The only reason you don't do it is because you think it's not important. The super wealthy people, the reason it continues is because they're like, yo, people they need to understand like who we are, the
Hmm.
story of our family, where we came from, where we're going, and then we need to put guardrails.
Yeah, your family name means a lot.
But you don't know, if you
Family
don't know the
name means a
story of
lot.
your family, and you think your family is just like your dad, and you don't know the full lineage of like how you got here, because once you understand how you got here, there are so many things in your life that start to make sense of like why do you have some triggers, some stuff that you don't even understand. Like why am I attracted to this? But when you look back, oh my gosh, you're so right. My great granddad used to do that. Oh my God, and you start to understand like wow, so I do have pieces in me. But people were trying to hide some of the bad things and just tell me the good things, and then tell me that they had this insecurity to, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yes, widely documented and available.
everywhere. So look, I appreciate your time, and this is a great episode, an absolutely great episode. And we're going to cut this early so you can get to completion because you got 6 kids. It's getting late. It's time to go ahead and get number 7. You want to complete? You said everything comes at 7. So we're going to get up out of here. You get your completion time.
I got a dog. I got a male dog. This is 7.
Well,
You know?
there you go.
We completed
There
at
you
like
go.
we do that at 7.
Yeah. Well, seven to completion. That's it. I stopped it. Look, I'm a Kappa, and they tell me everything good in Kappa comes in threes. And so I have 3 kids. And what I don't believe is I don't believe it'd be good for me to have 3 baby mamas. So I think it was time for me. I did the accurate thing and just cut it out. Just absolutely cut it out. But I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you, AJ. I appreciate you having me. And my hope is that whoever is listening to this, whether you're a dad or even a mom, is to understanding that power. If you're a dad and you're entrepreneurial, understand that seeking support does not make you weak. Seeking support allows you to enjoy life because we're not just meant to, as men, to be here and just provide and protect and be performance based loved. Like we should enjoy life when as we're living life, not when we retire, right? You should be healthy when you're living life. You should have money when you're living life. Your relationship with your spouse and kids should be good when you're living life, not in some distant
Yeah.
future, and other people have been there, have made the mistakes. So get the support so you can really go and live life happy and not depressed, sad, or
Broke. Yeah. And broke. Appreciate it. Episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. I know you liked what you saw. So what I need for you to do is go back and look at past episodes. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page, Just My Baby Daddy Podcast. And you can follow us on all social media at Just My Baby Daddy Pod.